What sorts of technologies have you observed in the palm oil scene that are specifically being used to achieve sustainability objectives in the environmental sense? And does RSPO use any of these specifically?
Oh, well, I think many of our members apply all sorts of technology these days. Some even, as I think our keynote speaker mentioned today, that in his operations they use the Internet of Things, sensors that detect whether a plant has enough water content or not. Many companies are using drone technology. Some companies are finding alternative nutrient input to feed their plants and to produce higher yields. Some are using very sophisticated irrigation equipment to ensure that they don't waste the water and use very little water at the right times of the day or right times of the month to put in water, and many more. So there's lots of technology. Blockchain technology is being used. Trying to be. Many are testing it. Blockchain technology, satellite imagery to track and trace the supply chains is also something that many of our members are using. The RSPO relies a little bit on technology, of course. We have been looking into the blockchain technology in terms of for traceability of our supply chains. Unfortunately, we haven't come up with solutions for blockchain because we haven't come up with solutions using blockchains because we have been told that the supply chain is too complex at the moment to use blockchain technology to solve the traceability problem that we have. But nevertheless, we are very much big users of satellite information data, hotspot monitoring. We use satellite imagery a lot. We have a dedicated team looking at that. And now we are working with a technology provider called Ulula, which helps to crowdsource information directly from the workers of plantations. So in theory, we could be connected to tens of thousands of workers in plantations who can then contact us at any time, but also we can communicate with. We can ask surveys, we can ask how they're doing, how are they treated in terms of workers' rights and all that. So these are the sorts of technology we've been toying around with. In the future, we want to look really into the Internet of Things. How can we get direct data, let's say, from the mills? Instead of having auditors go in, we could probably get data directly from the mills into our systems at every minute, for example. So these are some of the things we are toying with, but satellite imagery and Ulula is already ongoing. It gives us data real time. It gives us data directly from the people who are most impacted. So in my opinion, that's very credible data and very valuable data that we can have. The issue going forward is how to digest all that data, really. And that's something that in the RSPO, we're trying to figure out. We have got lots of data points, a lot of data sources, and we need to understand how can we cope with all that data that's flowing in. We've got 4,000 of our members, and you can imagine the amount of data that means 4,000 members with multiple supply chains in 92 countries. We have members in 92 countries. So there's a lot of data. We won't be short on data. What we'll be having a problem is analyzing that data. I think for the RSPO, many of our stakeholders acknowledge that we have a very transparent system that helps to monitor where our members are in relation to fires and in relation to deforestation, let's say. We have a tool called GeoRSPO that anyone can go on to and find out where our certified plantations are and find out where the fires are, for example, almost in real time.
How useful have these been in terms of helping to achieve sustainability goals, and what are the main benefits that you have observed from using all these technologies?
I think technology has allowed us to get data information fast and allowed us to pursue our transparency agenda. So the transparency agenda has helped tremendously, in my opinion anyway, in the way we address fires in the region. So we know that out of the 70,000 hotspots that we found during the recent fire season in the region, 0.5% were on members' plantations, and we know exactly how many days those fires took, how many days it took to put out those fires. So we monitor the efficiency at which our members put out those fires. So those have been really significant, tangible benefits. And with Ulula, with the service provider, we're talking Ulula to link us up with the workers. It's still pretty much in pilot phase, but we really hope to roll it out to many, many more members, so that in the future we can get information real time, and that brings us to yet another level of transparency, because we are getting information from people on the ground or real time.
So are there any countries in which you would say that this kind of technology has become exceptionally important, like especially within APEC, and like why so?
I can't pinpoint countries. I mean, many of the private sector and the industrial sector, they are already experimenting with a whole host of technology, I think. No one country, in my opinion, leads the way, especially in the palm oil sector. They're all moving forward and quite aggressively in trying to harness technology.
What about other upcoming new technologies that you might have gotten wind of? Do you have any like new ones in the pipeline?
The idea is that we need to crowdsource our information. So, our auditors can only do so much when they audit on the ground. The auditors take a sampling of what's happening on the ground. Whereas if you can crowdsource information, the sample size becomes, multiple times bigger than what auditor can do. So this technology, similar to Ulula, is something that we're really trying to pursue.